I pledge allegiance to the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, now I'm going to do some introductions, and the way we're going to do this is I'm going to do people in groups, and we're going to have, if you're here, you're going to stand. So our first group is not the board of directors, but the Romulus Chamber of Commerce officers and directors. I've got the director here, the vice president you just met, and anybody else? That's it. Okay, so let's hear it for Wendy and Shona. Jeff Lowry had a family commitment. He wished he would definitely be here tonight. Okay.
Patty.
Oh, Patty. Oh, wait a minute. There we go. Yeah, Patty. Sorry, Patty. Okay. So Patty is our secretary. Takes some good notes. She should be able to do that. She's a librarian. She should do that. So sorry. Okay. And then with our board of directors, myself, I'm here, and Reverend Arthur Willis. Where's Arthur Willis? Okay. All right. And this is one of the sharpest dressed guys in Romulus all the time. Okay. Now we're going to see, do we have any national representatives here right now from the United States of America? Okay, free Canada are going to show up sooner or later. Do we have any Michigan representatives here? Okay, now we're coming to the most important people, Romulus people. Okay, I believe we have some people here from the 34th District Court. Okay, so if you can stand up, please. Okay. Now we're going to go down to city officials. Stand up. If you're a city official with the city around us, please stand up. Okay, so let me see. Hang on. We got our clerk, Brady. Yes. Stacy Page, Tina Talley, John Barton, and our newest council person, David Jones. Okay. All right. Now we're going to go on to some other elected officials. I believe we have Judy Kennard here from the school board. And I think that's it. Anybody else?
County.
Oh yeah, Van Buren, Kevin McNamara.
County.
Alan Wilson.
Oh, Alan Wilson.
Commissioner.
Wayne County Commissioner. Now, if I just say, man, don't be afraid to stand up.
Wayne County Treasurer's Office. Yeah. Yeah, representative.
Okay, representative. Okay. You're going to have to tell us your name, please.
It's Carl Stafford.
What? Carl Stafford. Yeah, she's got fine print here, and I'm looking at my print that's, big enough that I can see this. Okay, welcome everybody. Okay, so I believe that it is time for the invocation, correct? Yes, okay. So I saw them all out there. They look like they're ready. So we're going to bring up Reverend Willis for one of the beautiful invocations that he does at this time.
Let's pray. Our Father, Lord our God, we're grateful. We thank you for your amazing grace. We thank you for bringing us from near and far tonight to be and celebrate one of your children. We are so grateful for this brother. We thank you, Lord, for allowing his health, allowing him to be here. First of all, that's amazing. We thank you for that. You answered all of our prayers. Now, Lord, we ask you to bless this food that's been prepared for us for the nourishment of our bodies. Let it digest according to your will, and we give you praise for it in Jesus' name. Amen.
You know me. I know a lot of these people in there. I'm Mark Cookles, and I have the honor of serving as your master of ceremonies. On behalf of the Greater Romulus Chamber of Commerce, I welcome all of you. We appreciate your attendance tonight.
as we honor Dennis Davidson, the 38th Romulus Person of the Year, also known as Denny. This event was instituted in 1980. Our first recipient was Bill Simons. Bill and his wife Marie ran the local downtown supermarket for many years. That was a different time and the big box stores did not exist. The local supermarket was not only a place that had everything you needed, it was a place that residents would also see each other on a regular basis. There was an iconic small town atmosphere. Bill had a vision that eventually Goddard Road from the railroad tracks east to Wayne Road would be developed. Person number 26, Rick Perry, transformed the old building that housed Belleville Dye and Henner Products into one of the most attractive commercial buildings in the city. It's kind of known for that beautiful roof there. Rick is semi-retired. That building became a waterproofing company, and now it's Amazing Glazing. So we see all those bands heading out of there each day to go do all this glazing. I don't know how many bathtubs are out there, but they do a good job. Now, through the efforts of the current administration and the Downtown Development Authority, the city has rebranded itself as One Romulus. We are starting to see the type of unique specialty businesses filling the storefronts from downtown to Five Points, which will thrive in the current economy if we support them, and this will make a destination for people to come to this city. The city and the Chamber of Commerce have a long history of working together to make this a better community. Romulus is a community that may not be understood by people that don't live here. We are a community where we look out for each other, and we are a family. Tonight's event will bring out the best of Romulus. You will see that once a year, we recognize a person that's gone above and beyond in their efforts by donating their time and talent to our city. As chairman of the Historical Commission, I can tell you that in 1893, nothing happened on this exact spot. But tonight, on this exact spot, we will honor an individual whose personal history parallels the history of Romulus for the last 30 to 50 years. If you watch these videos, you can see that, well, Roger shut it down while we're doing this part, but anyways, you can see that Denny was everywhere, definitely everywhere, okay? Now, since 1980, we've honored 37 Persons of the Year. After the 20th Person of the Year event in 2000, things fell by the wayside. After a 5-year absence, our former board member, Oscar Rotan, urged us to get this going again. The event was restarted in 2006 and has continued to this day. It would have been a great loss to the community to not recognize the next 18 people for their contributions since that time. When COVID gripped the nation in 2020, we had already selected our Person of the Year, which happened to be Carol Bales, and we could not have her event until 2022. Now, if you recall, all of us had kind of like a pent-up demand to do something. Yes, so that's one of the first things we did. We did get to Carol's event and have a good time, okay? Now, fortunately, we've held this on a yearly basis since the end of COVID. As this event went on, it was no one's fault, but we were not documenting the history of this event. Several years ago, tonight's recipient, Dennis Davidson, did a great deal of research and did a great job of correcting this situation. Miraculously, he located pictures of all the recipients. In fact, any of the Block family members who are here today, I got their approval that the picture you found is a good picture. They're happy with that. So, good job, Denny. Now, Maria Lambert, our 21st Person of the Year, has taken over this task following in Denny's footsteps. Maria is responsible for formatting the information on like the split screen thing there with the picture and the description of the person's accomplishments, and that's our Wall of Fame, and every year she documents this as it happens before it gets away at it. Okay, as we review the list of all of our Persons of the Year, I'm going to state their name only for the sake of saving some time. We know what they did. You can check out the board. That'll be up there for a little while after the event in case you haven't checked it out already. If I were to talk about each one of them, it would take a great deal of time, okay? And I could talk about each of them, but I won't, okay? Now, many years ago, Denny was the MC of this event. It was a shorter list, and he was able to talk briefly about each one from memory and personal knowledge. I hope you've already looked at those displays, and if you personally read those, it would be better than me telling you what they did, and you will have all the details for yourself. So check them out before you leave. Okay. Now at this time, I would like all of the persons of the year that are here in person to stand and be recognized. Okay, we got Sheldon Chandler, Carol Bales, Rhea Lambert, Reverend Willis, David Jones, Councilman David Jones, David S. Jones, and Janet Lemon. Did anybody ever call you Janet? Janet Lemon? This, could be a different person. Okay, all right. Now I need to let you know their longest serving councilman and person year number 36, William Wadsworth, could not be here tonight as he is recovering from hip surgery, and Bill sends his best wishes. Jim Poet, our 27th person here, cannot be here today because he is in charge of the fish fry at his church and could not get anyone to cover for him. So he also sends his regards, okay? Now I would like the descendants of persons of the year that are no longer with us to stand and be recognized if you're a descendant. Okay, we got the Block family over here. We've got John Baum. We've got Donnie Morris. And wait, who we got here? This is another Block here? Okay, all right. What? Denny's relative. Oh, are you messing with us? Okay. Oh, there's one in every crowd. Okay. Now tonight you see we have these family members here. They live in Block, our 16th person here in attendance, and the Block family settled in Romulus in the 1870s. These families are still very involved, running family farm. People from far and wide shop there. If you mention to someone that you're from Romulus, they will mention that they shop at Blocks. Okay? So, yeah. And they're going to join the chamber, finally. Okay. So, at this point, we want to have a moment of silence for the person here that are no longer with us. Thank you. Okay, now we want Dennis to enjoy this moment. Not yet. Hang in there, Denny. We are very glad you're here, I can tell you that much. Very, very glad you're here. Okay, so what's going to happen is the procedure now for the awards is that Shona Sylvie Baum is going to call up our presenters one by one. She's organized all of the accolades that Denny will get, and after speaking at the podium, that person will bring their proclamation to Dennis, and Roger will take a picture of you and Denny. So please do your best certificate pose at that time. And there's a guy here, he looks just like me, but I can't find him. Where is he? There he is. Okay, Shri is first up, right? Okay, Shri, come on up.
Yes, without further ado, we'd like to introduce our first presenter to honor Dennis Davidson, from all the way from Washington, D.C., our State Senator Shri Kandar. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Good evening. How's everybody? You're looking wonderful. I love Romulus. What a beautiful city. And my 13th congressional district. This is where my district starts. We start from Romulus all the way through downriver Detroit City, all the way to Grosse Pointe. That's my congressional district. I am so honored to be representing this great district, a diverse district, and I'm happy to be here. Yesterday we were voting in Washington, D.C., and when I heard there is somebody amazing, a person is going to be recognized here today in Romulus, I tried to get here as soon as I can. Nowadays, as you know, not much is going on in Washington, D.C. It's a very sleepy, quiet town, and not much is happening. But there is work to be done. We have, we are a polarized country. We have two parties, we have two different viewpoints, and neither of them are right all the time, right? Would you probably agree with me? And but what really matters is that we serve our people. We take care of people, make sure that people's lives are better. And that's my job, and that's why I bring a ton of money into my district from federal government. Money for lead pipe removal, money for infrastructure, and all kinds of things. But I know we have a short time here, we have a lot of presentations, so I'm going to get right to the program. From Washington, D.C., from the United States Congress, I brought a proclamation to honor Dennis Davidson. I'm an entrepreneur, and I know there are many entrepreneurs in the auditorium today here, but I also want to particularly appreciate Denny Davidson for his community work. He always shows up, he's always there, he's always helping, and for sake of time, I'm not going to read the whole proclamation. It's going to be here that you can read, but I just want to say that Denny was born and raised in Port Sanilac, Michigan, and following his high school graduation, Dennis Davidson went on to attend Kendall College, located in Evanston, Illinois, with an interest in liberal arts, and he served in the military, and on his journey to positively impact those around him, Davidson collaborated with several prominent local nonprofits and civic organizations such as the Rotary, Relay for Life, the Recreation Department, community schools, the local VFW, and many, many more. What Denny signifies is the service. It's doing things for each other. Not just helping ourselves, but helping our neighbors, helping our community, building that community atmosphere and making other people's lives better. And for that, Denny Davidson, I honor you from the United States Congress. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Congressman Sri Tananar. We also have a proclamation from the state of Michigan, and that is for Gretchen Whitmer, for Darren Camarelli, and so in order to, we've got a traffic jam over here. Mark is going to come up and present that on Darren Camarelli's behalf. So for the state of Michigan, the 3-in-1, we have Mark Lugowitz.
Thank you. Thank you, Sri. He mentioned polarity. I didn't know he was an electrician, but you have to have a positive and a negative to make a battery, get the current flowing, right? Okay. What I'm going to do with this one, this is a famous 3-in-1, which is signed by It could be a 3-in-1, it could be 4-in-1. I've seen these all over the state of Michigan at different businesses and facilities where people have been honored. So I'm also going to read most likely the first paragraph of this. It's a special tribute to Dennis Davidson. Let it be known that it is with deepest respect and admiration that we honor Dennis Davidson, the 38th person of the year Romulus, for his decades of dedicated service to our community. Mr. Davidson's contributions to Romulus, Wayne County, and the state of Michigan are immeasurable, and his passion for serving others has positively impacted countless lives. Very good. Thank you, Denny.
All right, we're going to keep things rolling right along as we get closer and closer to our hometown. From Wayne County Commissioner, on behalf of Eric Sabri, we have Carl Stafford.
Good evening. My name is Carl Stafford. I'm the Director of the Wayne County Treasurer's Office. I'm here representing Treasurer Eric Sabri. Dennis has worked at our office for a number of years. Dennis, we really miss you. We wish you were still there helping us out with our community outreach programs. He is very instrumental in attending community events, especially in Romulus, helping our taxpayers prevent foreclosure. We have a resolution by Wayne County Treasurer Eric Sabri. I will not read the whole thing, but it states, Dennis Davidson has been named the 38th Romulus Chamber of Commerce Person of the Year for his lifetime commitment to the city of Romulus and its residents. Therefore, be it resolved, the Wayne County Treasurer's Office proudly honors Dennis Davidson for his remarkable contributions to the city of Romulus and congratulates him on being named the Greater Romulus Chamber of Commerce Person of the Year. Thank you very much.
You know, he interviewed the Beatles. He's got a lot of fun facts, but that's one of my favorite. In Germany.
My sincere apologies for calling the Treasurer's Office the Commissioner's Office. I can't be level to graphic. But now we really do have the Commissioner's Office. So on behalf of the Wayne County Commissioner, I'd like to welcome Alan Wilson to the stage.
Thank you very much, Lynn. Yes, thank you. All right. Thank you. Good evening. First and foremost, I am Alan Wilson, your Wayne County Commissioner, and it's an honor to be here before you this evening. I see a lot of my good friends in the audience. Miss you all very, very much. Working downtown as the Wayne County Commissioner, I have a lot of, obviously, responsibilities, but that's why I'm here today, because this is one of my responsibilities, to be here and to honor someone in our audience, 38th Man of the Year of Romulus, Mr. Dennis Davidson. So I really appreciate the things that you've done, Dennis, for this community. You've been very active, you've been very engaged, and because of you, Romulus is a much better place to live. So again, thank you very much, Dennis. So on behalf of the Wayne County Commission, I am going to present this resolution to you, Dennis, and I'm just going to read a couple of the paragraphs just to let you know how much you're greatly appreciated, not only again here in the city of Romulus, but also throughout the county of Wayne. Honoring Dennis Davidson, Romulus Chamber of Commerce Person of the Year. Whereas it is with great pleasure that we, the members of Wayne County Commission, salute and congratulate Dennis Davidson of Romulus, Michigan, on being named the Romulus Chamber of Commerce Person of the Year for 2024. And whereas he was born in Detroit, Michigan, and raised in Port St. Dennis Davidson is the 38th recipient of the prestigious award honoring his values of integrity, strong character, and a passion for helping others. And Dennis Davidson graduated from Memphis, Michigan High School. All right. Before furthering his education at Kendall College in Evanston, Illinois, and the Midwestern Broadcasting School, where he embarked on a career in broadcasting as a disc jockey. So finally, go to the last paragraph. Be resolved that the Wayne County Commission commends and congratulates Dennis Davidson on his latest honor and wishes him the success, all the best success in the future endeavors. Signed, Alan R. Wilson, Wayne County Commission, District 11, and Wayne County Commission, obviously in Wayne County. So, Davidson, Mr. Davidson, thank you, sir. Appreciate it very, very much. God bless you, man. Thank you. And by the way, the food was excellent. I heard you all like that food. I'm telling you, I'm looking for a pillow up here right about now. That was absolutely incredible food. So thank you all very much. God bless you. Good to be here. Thank you.
All right, moving right along. Up next, we have a special proclamation from the Ministerial Alliance here in Romulus. And here to present that this evening is Reverend Willis.
Thank you so much. I've asked Tina to come up and help me out, since she's the only other person that's on the Ministerial Alliance that are here. But Dennis was unique and special, and I believe that when he was working with Wayne County, he would come to the Ministerial Alliance meeting and he would bring his information to Wayne County. But after the first couple of meetings, I realized Dennis wasn't sure he'd go to church. So we started having church at the Ministerial Alliance, so Dennis would get some church in. So he would come every month, and he would represent the Wayne County Treasurer's Office, and we would give him a word from the Lord, and he would enjoy that. He would sit through the whole thing. And so we feel that, well, since he came to the Ministerial Alliance meeting, we'd have to make him an honorary preacher for tonight. So you can't go marry nobody, and you can't go do a whole lot of stuff. It's just for tonight. After tonight, you're no longer honorary preachers. Talent, come on in. Councilman Talent. Anyway, she must have. She's going to read the proclamation for you, Dennis. And congratulations. We thank you for coming to our alliance. We thank you for sharing all the information from Wayne County. Certainly thank you a lot.
Thank you. Dennis, you know this is my extreme pleasure to get up here and do this. So, Certificate of Appreciation awarded to Dennis Davidson with deep appreciation, respect, and gratitude for the many years of participation with the Romulus Christian Ministerial Alliance and ongoing support in the city of Romulus community, awarded this day, 28th of March, 2025. We thank you for your participation with the Romulus Christian Ministerial.
As a former preacher's kid, I thank you. I'll have a quick story about Art. We used to have these bowling things called Watsons, I think, put them together. And Art would bowl, and every time you get a strike, we'd all sing, "How great thou art! How great thou art!"
All right, Dennis. All right, we're going to be moving it along here now. With the Mayor Pro Tem of Romulus and a proclamation on behalf of the Romulus City Council, I'd like to call to the podium now Mayor Pro Tem John Barden.
Academy Award.
Absolutely. We don't have a red carpet.
You know, Dennis Davis used to live on the same street I live on now. It's been peaceful ever since he left. No, it's been, I had to throw that in there. But Dennis is a great guy. I know when I first ran for council, Dennis would always say, "Speaker of the House." Me? But that's the type of person Dennis is. She always got something to add lib. Just a nice guy to be around. I know on the campaign trail, Dennis and Tina Talley, Councilwoman Talley, and some other council people with campaigns, and Dennis would be the driver. And he would push you to get out there and get one of those, let people know who you are and what's your program. So that's the type of person Dennis is. And I like to say, this is from the city of Romulus, the resolution. Congratulations, Dennis Davidson, as Romulus 38 Person of the Year. Dennis Davidson, thank you. Love you.
All right. Now we have a unique one, which I haven't seen yet, from a Person of the Year event. From the Private James D. Donovan, Romulus VFW Post number 78. I'm pleased to introduce Commander Ron Allen.
Good evening. First time I ran across Dennis, I was elected the first term in 2006 as post commander. I was elected 3 other times behind that. And I said, who's this guy that was showing up, working, doing something, and then he's gone? He said, so I talked to the older guys in the post. I said, well, that's Dennis Davidson. He's always here every time he turns around. The guy, something going, he's here. So I said, wonderful. So we sat down in my second term. We had a nice talk, didn't we, Dennis? We became very good friends. And I cherished that very, very dearly to you. Dennis, in recognition of your dedication to the veterans, we at the Private James D. Donovan, Romulus VFW Post 78, are proud to award you this certificate of appreciation. Your hard work and the dedication has paid off in many fundraisers. You have assisted to help raise money for the building fund and other events. We appreciate everything you've done in the past to help our veterans and our great organization. Certificate of appreciation, Dennis Davidson, for the meritorious and distinguished service in furthering the aims and the ideals of the veterans of foreign wars of the United States of America. And at this day, 28 March 2025, as Commander and representing the post, and thank you from the bottom of my heart for everything you do for us, for our veterans, and you as a veteran yourself. Thank you very much.
All right. Our next presentation comes from a group of folks who are not at all shy about microphones. From the Detroit Sports Media Association, it is my pleasure to welcome George Eichen.
Thank you so much for that introduction. I was the executive director for God knows how many years at the Detroit Sports Broadcasters Association and the Detroit Sports Media Association, which they're called now. And Dennis's favorite line was, "You can hold your applause." Every time we had a luncheon, this man here would have the last question with the general manager of the Detroit Tigers sitting there. And he said, "Who's that last guy? Who's your last guy that's going to be in the running for that final roster spot?" Remember, Dennis? You asked that question every year, whether it was Dave Dombrowski or Al Avila or Kenny Howland of the Red Wings. I'm just so happy to be here. We've got a lot of people here at our table that really, really appreciate all the work you've done. And of course, Mr. Wilson, Scott, good to see you again, our engraving specialist and great man of the organization. Rich Kincaid, our past president, is here. Rich, good to see you. Thanks for coming. Next to Rich is Kathy Best. And of course, Dennis has been friends and close acquaintances with Kathy for so many years. Kathy worked for the Detroit Red Wings for a long time. She's been a friend of the Detroit Sports Media Association. There's an award named after her, which I had the privilege of winning, and so did Dennis at one time, but previously, so we're great to see you again, Kathy. Thank you for coming. There's a guy here who's in a Hall of Fame. That's right. Yes, Frank Garza, Ring Magazine's rated one of the top officials in the world and a member of the Boxing Hall of Fame, Frank Garza. Two-time boxing champion, right? Rocco McCart. Good to see you. Thanks for coming out. John Thede is here. John, Sports Talk 60. He's the host of a show, and he's one of the finest public servants here in the city of Romulus as a paramedic and EMT and firefighter. Good to see you, John. Thank you. Greg Innes. Greg is a statistician. If you ever want to know anything about the Detroit Red Wings, Greg has tracked their history for decades, and he is just a great guy, a resource that all of us in the media lean on one time or more during our careers. Good to see you, Greg Innes. So, the Detroit Sports Media Association is proud to present Dennis Davidson a Lifetime Membership Award. On this day, 28th day of March in the year 2025, this action by the Executive Board is the highest honor that can be bestowed by the DSMA. The Detroit Sports Media Association salutes you, Dennis, for your many years of excellence in sports communications and the professionalism you have demonstrated during your storied career. And Dennis has been not only an officer for so many years in our organization, he chaired our golf outing, he worked on the student membership and awarding scholarships to the young men and women that are trying to make it in the media business. Any multitude of times, Denny helped us with programs and setting up meetings and lunches, and I know for a fact we all appreciated Dennis. And on behalf of Neil Rule, the DSMA president, I want to present this certificate to you right now. You deserve it.
Okay. Our poor Roger Cato is multitasking here. He's taking pictures, he's starting videos. You need this back. Yeah. I knew that was going to happen.
I get to do another job too here. The first one up is two guys that most of you should be familiar with. I think their names are Ken and Mickey. Ken Daniels and Mickey Redmond have a special message for Dennis and all of us.
Double D, Dennis, Ken, and Mick here on the road. We don't get to see you at home anymore, so we want to say hi from the road in Minnesota.
Yes, so we understand you're getting an award from the city of Romulus, and we want to congratulate you on that. And because of that, we know how much you like a little ginger ale, in your case, a little glass of wine. We're going to have one for you after the game tonight. Congratulations, Dennis.
And not to be outdone, the radio play-by-play voice of the Red Wings, Ken Kell, and his partner, Paul Woods, with the next greeting.
Hey, Dennis, Ken Kell and Paul Woods are on the road in Minnesota, and we miss seeing you around Joe Louis Arena and Little Caesars Arena. You were a big part, handing us those stats each and every game. We knew you liked the grape a little bit too, so we just want to say congratulations to you. And Paul, I know you have a message as well.
Congratulations, Dennis. So many great years. Don't even take it back further, back from our days in Olympia, but there's always a great thing done. I always made me happy when I saw you walk in the building, so best of luck and congratulations on the award.
Thank you so much. Well done. From the professionals. And then they hit me up. Okay. So we're going to from one voice of the Detroit Broadcast Sports Media Association to the voice of Romulus Relay for Life. On behalf of the Romulus Relay for Life, I would like to turn your attention to yet another presentation here on the screen, and the award will be presented by Abigail Baum.
All right, I don't know if I'm waiting for the video or not.
You can just talk.
Alrighty, so, hi, as Shona said, my name is Abby Baum. I'm the entertainment lead for Relay for Life. I had the honor of meeting Dennis as one of the first folks that I met from the city of Romulus when I moved home to Romulus in 2017. We actually have a video of the very first time that I met Dennis. Here's him talking to my mom, and a few clips from now, he'll be talking to me. So I had the honor of meeting this charismatic, magnetic, boisterous man with a microphone who came walking up to introduce himself and to help introduce the city of Romulus to our passion project, Relay for Life. We were so honored and proud to be able to bring it to the city of Romulus, and we could not have done so without the support from the voice of Romulus, Dennis Davidson. After that very first relay, my mom started lovingly calling me the voice of Relay, but that never would have happened without the encouragement and mentorship that I got from Dennis Davidson. So I'm very proud and honored on behalf of the Romulus Relay for Life to present Dennis with this proclamation to help honor him for being the 38th Person of the Year for the Chamber of Commerce. Congratulations, Dennis.
All right. So the next group of folks that are here tonight to honor Dennis Davidson is something that I met him with. He's been very involved with the Rotary Club. So from the Romulus Rotary President Jasmine Dancy.
Good evening, everybody. So I'll start with a little bit of context. I met Dennis back in 2013 when we were both hired by Mayor Burcroft to do community outreach for the city. We were part of what our boss Julie affectionately called the Island of Misfit Toys. We were a motley crew with diverse backgrounds and different roles, yet I think we were all united by our shared passion for serving the community. It was during our time together at the city that I had the chance to help Dennis, and Mark mentioned this earlier, with his mission to document and memorialize all the previous People of the Year. Dennis was determined to make sure these individuals, many of whom were his friends, were recognized. And now it really feels like a full circle moment to be standing here as we add his name to that list. What always struck me about Dennis is his vast knowledge of history. It spans decades and administrations. But what truly sets him apart from so many other passionate people I've met in Romulus is that Dennis isn't originally from here. He didn't grow up here or attend school here. He found his way here, bringing with him a wealth of experience from several careers before he landed in Romulus. From rock stars in Europe to sports stars here in Detroit, I still don't know anyone with a more varied, colorful set of stories than Dennis. And we will work on that book, Dennis. I know we got to get him to write one. After a few years of working together, I ended up with the honor of approving his time cards. But I didn't see him as an employee or a coworker. By then, he was my friend. And as we affectionately like to refer to him as Mr. Microphone. We also served in Rotary together. And as part of any charitable effort, it's fundraising. Boy, can Dennis throw a party. Raise your hand if you've survived a Dennis Davidson golf outing. I wish we had a tally of all the money he's helped raise for worthy causes in our community, because that should not go unnoticed. The Romulus Rotary Club has a long history with the Person of the Year Award. Several of the past attendees were members of our club. So at this time, I just want to have our Romulus Rotarians stand. There's a few in the audience. And I'd also like to invite our former members, who we also have a good portion of, to stand as well. So thank you all for your service. In previous years, we have named Paul Harris Fellow Awards for the Person of the Year, but tonight we're going to defer to his now home club of Belleville to bestow that honor here shortly. But Dennis, please know that I and our club recognize the time, energy, and impact you've had to our club as well. So to close, I do want to just take a moment to recognize how grateful I am that we all get this opportunity to show Dennis how much you mean to us. I think most of us are aware of some of the health challenges that Dennis has had these last couple of years. And the fact that we are all here gathered today to show Dennis his flowers while he is here, I think is something really impactful that we should all take with us in our lives and make sure that we are continuing to do that with all of our friends and loved ones on a regular basis, not just when they're receiving a prestigious award. So thank you, Dennis. I love you, and I've got just a little award to present, but I want to defer to our Belleville Club for the Paul Harris Award. So our certificate of appreciation is presented to Dennis A. Davidson in recognition of your award as the 38th Annual Greater Romulus Chamber of Commerce Person of the Year. We are honored that you served multiple tenures with our club, served several terms on the board, and led our club as president. We thank you for your dedication to Romulus, Belleville, and Buren Township communities. Congratulations.
All right, next up we have another Rotarian, a couple more Rotarians that are going to come to the podium here. It is my great pleasure to welcome, I lost my space, Rachel Kozlowski and Brian Piercy, both from the Belleville Rotary Club and beyond. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you so much. To those who come behind us, let us find us faithful. Dennis, what I learned about you tonight is amazing. You are a son of a reverend that lived in Memphis, Michigan. Probably since the time that you were a little boy, your family taught you how to give to your community, how to help others, and that is the finest thing that you can do, is to serve God in this way. And we appreciate you for that. Because of your service, you came to our club and you were the director of our golf outing. You taught us how to make more money and help our community better. And we appreciate you so much for that. For that, the Rotary Club is giving you a special award besides Paul Harris Fellow. With great respect, we honored Dennis Davidson, member from 2018 to 2025, the Rotary Club of Belleville, Michigan. I'm going to hand you this award. In the meantime, our Assistant District Governor, Brian Piercy, is going to read to you the Paul Harris Fellow.
I want to first give you a little background about the Paul Harris Fellowship Award. It was founded by Paul Harris, who was one of the original founders of Rotary back in Chicago in the early 1900s. The fellowship was established in his honor in 1957. And to express appreciation for contributions to the humanitarian and educational programs of the Rotary Foundation. Those programs include an array of projects that save and invigorate the lives of people around the world and enhance international friendship and understanding. Foundation programs provide educational opportunities, food, potable water, healthcare, immunizations, and shelter for millions of people. These activities are funded and implemented by Rotarians and Rotary clubs around the globe. Rotarians also designate a Paul Harris Fellow to recognize another person whose life demonstrates a shared purpose with the objectives and mission of the Rotary Foundation to build world understanding and peace. We move closer to a more peaceful world today as Dennis Davidson becomes a Paul Harris Fellow. The Romulus and Belleville clubs are honoring you with the Paul Harris Award in recognition of your contribution to both our clubs for many years. Your life exemplifies the humanitarian and educational objectives of the Rotary Foundation. We thank you for your demonstration in your life and vocation and commitment to helping people in need here and around the world. Therefore, it gives me great pleasure to present you on behalf of the trustees of the Rotary Foundation these emblems of Paul Harris Fellow. The certificate states that you've been named a Paul Harris Fellow in appreciation of tangible and significant assistance given for the furtherance of a better understanding and friendly relations between peoples of the world. Please accept congratulations and sincere appreciation for your commitment to our common goals of world understanding and peace. Ladies and gentlemen, please congratulate and recognize the newest Paul Harris Fellow, Dennis Davidson.
Hey, the Rotarians keep making me weepy.
Jonah, real quick, I just want to say something.
Dennis wants to say something real quick, folks.
Okay, this Paul Harris Award, this is a big deal, let me tell you. It's one of the highest awards you can get in Rotary. And I thank Romulus and Belleville for this. Appreciate you.
Well deserved, well deserved. Thank you so much for helping us to honor our 38th Person of the Year. I really appreciate it. All right, now even closer to home. Our Mayor, Robert McQuaid, was unable to attend this evening, so we get two for the price of one. We get not only our City Clerk, Ellen Craig, but we also get Stacy Page, so as our city's treasurer. So if I could call them, they're going to present to Dennis a proclamation from the City of Romulus.
Good evening, everyone. And Dennis, congratulations. We have the distinct honor of presenting a proclamation on behalf of Mayor McQuaid, and he was unable to be here, but he sent a message that he asked me to read to you. And it reads as follows, once I can, of course, my phone dies. Okay, here it is. It says, "Good evening, Dennis, and congratulations on your award. I apologize for not being able to attend the event, but previously scheduled events prevented my attendance. Your years of dedication and passion for Romulus make you an easy selection this year. Your generation built the Romulus I grew up in and loved. Your actions have shown us how to build and maintain a great community. It takes the same dedication and deed over words attitude you've exhibited for years. Thank you for setting a good example for us to follow. You definitely personify the spirit of one Romulus. Congratulations once again for being selected as the Person of the Year for 2025. Mayor Robert McQuaid." Before our city treasurer reads the proclamation, I just want to say, Dennis, as a city clerk, I want to thank you. Many of you may not know he worked in the clerk's office. He helped us with elections. He would drive me around, as they would say, driving Miss Daisy, but he would say driving Miss Ellen, because I was exhausted, and he'd drive me around from precinct to precinct. I want to thank you. And many of you may not know, when Mayor McCrate and many started the Wreaths Across America, we have a lot of veterans in our cemetery that hadn't quite yet been identified. Our historical society had, working with the VFW, created a list by going out, but we discovered that there were many veterans buried in our cemetery that we had not identified yet, and it was Dennis. We pulled out records, old records, and Dennis, we set him up, and he entered every record that we were able to find of every veteran that's buried in our cemetery. And I'm proud to say we have identified nearly 400 of our veterans that's buried in our Romulus Memorial Cemetery. I would be remiss if I didn't mention Miss Jan Lemon, who played a major part also with our cemetery and working together. Dennis, thank you for your passion and so now we have one of the largest celebrations when it comes to Wreaths Across America here in the city of Romulus. So Dennis, thank you so much. And our city treasurer will read the proclamation.
Good evening. Proclamation in recognition of Dennis Davidson. I, Robert A. McCrate, Mayor in and for the City of Romulus, do hereby proclaim Friday, March 28, 2025 as Dennis Davidson Day in the City of Romulus, and wish to express our appreciation for your many years of dedication to our community and extend my congratulations for being elected by the Romulus Chamber of Commerce as the 38th person of the year. Robert A. McCrate, City of Romulus. Dennis, I just want to tell you congratulations. You've been a dear friend. I know how much you love this community and how much you have put your heart into it. And we all have recognized that, and we love you for that. And we thank you. Congratulations. Congratulations on this.
I would just like to say real quick about Bob McCrate. I want to thank him on behalf of all veterans in Romulus. Our Veterans Monument was tore down a few years ago to make room for the courthouse. And if it wasn't for Bob McCrate, the new one that's going to be going up in the spring probably wouldn't have happened. We'd still be looking around for all the bricks. But I'd like to thank Bob and Stacy, also treasurer, and for her reaching out to everybody and making sure everybody gets their old brick back, which I have, and getting the new bricks on. So thank Mayor Bob for the new bricks.
All right, folks, the moment you've all been waiting for. I'm going to call to the podium now, Chair of the Person of the Year Committee for the Greater Romulus Chamber of Commerce, Mark Lukowitz, to present and introduce our 38th Person of the Year.
There's a prelude to this, don't give up yet.
No, your mark is going to be a long one.
Anybody want an intermission while we got a chance? All right. Okay. I got to fire my phone back up here. And as I do, I can show you a little trick. When you're trying to get off the phone or get away from somebody, you just go like this. Oh, I got do not disturb on. Okay. It's off now. Okay. And you just go like this. My fingers don't work on this. Anyways, it's supposed to ring, and didn't work out. Ring. There we go. Sort of. I got something I'm going to have to play on here in a minute. There we go. There's alarms. Phone going off. Hello? Okay. Now, is Janet Millard here tonight? Who? Janet Millard. Yeah. Where's Janet? Hi, Janet. Yeah. You remember me? Okay. Janet is from Denny's high school days. Oh. Yeah. during the ceremony. Okay? Okay, appreciate everything you guys have done. My father was a World War II veteran. He wouldn't talk about it. I think he saw some rough things, and all these people really protected our country, and I really appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. Katie's father was also in the Navy, World War II veteran, so. Denny was in the Civil War, I think, wasn't it, Denny? Yeah, okay. Okay, now, I got to do something. I'm going to do this real quick. You think this happens, you come up here and do it. I mean, we're all professionals, but we still get nervous. I've seen major celebrities are nervous before they go on, and So I got to mention our persons of the year. Okay, Bill Simons, Doug Baum, Carl Morris, Jason Ledet, Bill White Sr., Joyce Palmer. She's one that called me. I'm here for 2 reasons. Eisenhower signed the Interstate Highway Bill in 1956, the year I was born, that pushed me out to Romulus here. And I got a call from Joyce Palmer asking me if I would serve on the Chamber of Commerce Board of Directors, and it's been a great run. So I really appreciate that call from Joyce. Okay. Leo Collada, Gerald Null, Dan Bales, Marianne Banks, Richard Cruz, Beverly McAnally, William Crane, Florence Klein, Harlan Wichlow, Hilda Block, Geneva Clark, Ron Hobson, Zephy Beanham, Richard Donahue, Maria Lambert, Linda McNeil, yours truly, Reverend Arthur Willis, Julie Elson, Rick Perry, Jim Poet, Lyndon Patastrowski, Brian Oakley, Pearl Varner, Sheldon Chandler, Jan Lemon, Reverend William Kren, Robert McCray, Carol Bales, William Wadsworth, David S. Jones, and tonight we're going to honor Denny Davidson. So let's have a round of applause for all those past people. Okay, now I'm sure that Denny's memories are stirring. They've been stirring for quite a while now, ever since he knew that he was going to get this award. So we learned a lot of things about Denny tonight. If you hang with Denny, there's a good chance that you will run into some very famous people, especially those in the sports world. In 2011, I finally joined the Detroit Sports Broadcasters Association, and that was based on the factory that I did photography for the Motorsports Hall of Fame. That organization, this Detroit Sports Media, well, that's what it's called now, it was Detroit Sports Broadcasters Association. Now, there was a partnership created between the 2 associations, the Motorsports Hall of Fame and Detroit Sports Broadcast Association. And the tradition was having lunch with a question and answer program with the motorsports inductees. Now, I did go to Florida once the museum moved down there. We had kind of a lot of moves around here. We used to be at the Novi Expo Center, then moved to the Science Center, and then our stuff was in storage until Daytona took us on and moved it down there. So I haven't been down there in a few years, but that tradition has continued and has gotten even better. Okay? Now, what I got to tell you, now with Denny, like I said, you never know who you're going to run into when you hang with Denny. Okay? I can't believe this was all the way back in 2013, Denny. Between the Indy 500 and the Detroit Grand Prix, there was a dinner on a Wednesday at the Rattlesnake Club. I can't afford a Rattlesnake Club. Denny and I, if we put our money together, we can't afford a Rattlesnake Club. But Roger Penske paid the bill on that, but George was there, right? Okay? So we got there early, we picked a table close to the podium, and then the following happened. We're sitting at the table. Tony Kanaan, who just won the Indy 500, the prior Sunday showed up, okay, to sit at our table with his lovely wife, Lauren Bolander. She was a famous Indianapolis sports broadcaster. I'd actually seen her long before that at an event in Indianapolis. I didn't know who she was. Then Mark Royce arrived, who's the General Motors Vice President, And Denny, they auction off a dinner with him or lunch with him now as a fundraiser for the Motorsports Hall of Fame. So you and I kind of got in it for free. Bud Decker, one of Roger Penske's major main vice presidents. So this is a true story. And I wasn't sure whether to be embarrassed or be elated, but they think it was bummer. I don't even remember. I kind of remember, but I'm not going to mention who was the facilitator that day. He went right into questions and answers with all the celebrities in the room. And I thought we were going to have an opportunity, like, hey, what did you feel like in the last lap? And so we never really got a chance to talk to Tony, but we did have lunch with him, okay? Now, Denny charged me the task of finding a picture where he was interviewing Paul McCartney in 1966, located in Hamburg, Germany. I did look for that picture, couldn't find it. I thought about Roger doing a Photoshop of a picture of Denny and Paul and give it to Denny. That was a long time ago, and Denny probably wouldn't remember what he was wearing that day, so it might have worked, okay? So I did some research, and I see that the Beatles had visited Hamburg, Germany on several occasions. If you were around during those days watching the Beatles on TV, you would remember that the girls were screaming and passing out, and it was a major pandemonium at that time, okay? In my research, I learned that the Beatles were so tired of interviews during their time in Germany, except for Paul. So I truly believe that Denny did do this interview because Denny did not say that he interviewed the Beatles, he interviewed Paul. I managed to get a phone number for Paul's website and called him. I got a reply to a text message, and I was wondering if it was like a fake thing, okay? I also received a text today from Paul. I had to watch some kind of show that was coming up, okay? I was hoping to find a contact for his publicity director to obtain that picture. So here's what I have for you, Denny. This is as close as I could get. And of course, when you're up here, everything seems to take forever.
You have reached the voicemail box of Paul McCartney.
I think we should listen to that one more time. Okay. You better on the speakerphone on this time. Hang on, one more time, Denny.
First. You have reached the voicemail box of Paul McCartney.
All right. So, in closing up this part, Denny Davidson, also known as Denny, also known as David Dennison sometimes. Who calls him David Dennison? Anybody? Yeah, there we go. A whole bunch. Yeah, we got the part of the Friday Leonardo's crowd here. Yeah, it's a big gossip thing, and you're allowed to talk about anything but your mother at your dinner. We really had to have Denny set his priorities and miss that dinner the last 2 weeks so he could get all his information to Roger and Mr. Our photographer back here. Yeah. Yes. Okay. See, things happen. Okay. So Denny and I think we're famous in our minds, and Dr. Rick from Progressive would say, "You're not." Okay. So I got to show you one quick thing. This is actually, man, the Reverend Denny Davidson preaching to the crowd. I don't know if you saw this picture. But, man, it's quite a congregation you had, Denny. You could have made more money as a preacher, but oh. Okay, now, the serious part here. What's that? Okay. Okay.
Let me clarify that.
Okay.
That is a picture, believe it or not, of me throwing out the very last hockey puck at Olympia Stadium.
How come the puck's not showing in the air, Denny? Did Roger Photoshop that one? Okay. Okay, now, we've got some special wording on Dennis's plaque. We don't just do a cookie cutter job on these. We try and do something specific to the individual. And this says, presented to Dennis Davidson, the 38th Romulus Person of the Year. From the moment you arrived, you became an integral part of our community. Your time and talent were utilized to make this a better place. We thank you for your continued devotion. The Greater Romulus Chamber of Commerce, March 28, 2025. Okay, we need that certificate pose, buddy. Because he's smiling, I hope he's okay. All right, so with that, I think, Sean, are we time to turn it over to Danny?
We are.
Okay, there we go, Danny.
Please don't stop. First of all, I'd like to thank you for all coming to my memorial. You know, that one goes, boy, Dennis sure looks good. Should he just got out of the hospital? Yeah, but he's in no pain. Don't be too sure about that. Well, at least he's in a better place. I wouldn't be too sure about that either. I would like to thank the Marriott for helping me a dressing room. The amenities were a little bit different. They supplied me with some mops and some brooms. And, in fact, there was a little machine in there for buffing floors. It reminded me when I was in the Army, in the basic deck, buffed those floors so they'd shine and everything. So that was kind of cool. The only problem was the mirror. I don't know where they got that mirror, but they got ripped off. In fact, they're worse than the mirrors in my house, that's for sure. But seriously, I'd like to thank the people from the Marriott for doing this tonight and for entertaining my family, for putting up their hospitality, and the rooms are just fantastic. It is written that no man stands alone, and that no man is an island. It also is written that it takes a village. That's what community service is all about. I was hired into the city of Romulus by Mayor Bill Oakley in 1978. In 1980, I became the Recreation Director of Parks and Recreation for the city. At the time, there was a group of men who made up the Downtown Romulus Businessman Committee. And they were Bill Simons, Bill Mars Supermarket, Leo Flata from Manufacturers Bank, Ken Wells of Family Pharmacy, Louis Blitz at Romulus Auto Parts, Tony Copus from Romulus Hardware, Chet Asbury at Greenbrier Party Store, and many others. And they used to meet at the Senior Center, where my office was located. The concessions from some of the meetings was that they would like to have a festival to promote downtown Romulus. They approached me and asked me if I would help. After many discussions, it was decided the festival would be held in the third weekend of May, in which it would be Michigan Week. And because I had nothing better to do but oversee a recreation department and 6 parks, they decided that I should be chairman of this event. Chairman is not any good without a committee. As anybody that's been a chairman or been on a committee, you know that. First of all, I enlisted Gail Mack, who was my secretary at the Recreation Department at the time. And then Leo Flata sent me Mary Ann Wells from the bank. And then I went to a beautification committee at Sheldon Chandler's house. His wife, Gloria, was chairman of the committee. And from there, I recruited Christy Troyer, Kathy Darnell, Kathy McCollum, and then we put together a plan of action. Roger, we got that up on the screen? I can't see. On the screen, you can see the other volunteers that we recruited along the way. I know many of, I may have forgotten some, but in '83, It's kind of hard to remember things that happened when I was 43. So, Manufacturers Bank let us receive money for the startup, and there was a lady from Westland by the name of Dolores Newell who ran our Senior Meals on Wheels program, and she was a member of the Westland Festival Committee. She introduced me to the owner of WG Weight Shows. They're well known for being the carnival for the Michigan State Fair. Weight Shows came on board, and through them, we made enough money to fund next year's festival, and every year for the next 14 years. We were surprised by the outpouring of people who wanted to help. The Romulus Community Schools band teachers Henry James, Richard Cruz, brought their musicians in for our entertainment. South Little League ran the bingo tent. Greater Romulus Chamber of Commerce headed up the adult refreshment area. And from there, everything fell in place. Just a personal note, 1970, I went to work for a small radio station in Marine City. I became the sports director and got credentials to cover all 4 professional sports. I attended meetings of the Detroit Sports Broadcasters Association. That's why I got representatives here tonight. That group included just about every of the sports announcers from every TV and radio station and every team in the city of Detroit. This organization became very influential to me and became an organization that I was asked to become a part of, and through that organization became a part of the press box crew at Detroit Red Wings in 1974. 1985, we celebrated the sesquicentennial, or the 150th anniversary of Romulus, headed up by the Historical Society and the city, and there were many events to celebrate the city's history. At that time, I had become the Community Relations Director for the city under Beverly McAnally, the mayor at that time, and I represented the city at various events. Big event that year was the dedication of the Romulus High School baseball field in remembrance of Charlie Lau. Romulus has been very fortunate throughout the years to graduate young athletes who have gone on to play professional sports. Jonathan Holofield played professional football. Shayla Holloman, Johnny Long, Grant Long, and Terry Mills all played professional basketball. In fact, Emery Long, the brother of Johnny and Grant, is here tonight. Emery, thank you for coming out. Appreciate it. I talked to Terry Mills. He wanted to be here tonight, but they wanted him to broadcast basketball games. Charlie Lau attended Romulus High School during the early 1950s. He played football, basketball, baseball, and according to my friend Ron Hobson, he was usually the captain of the teams. And if you weren't playing up to his standards, he'd ask you to get off the field or off the court. That's the kind of guy he was. He was signed by the Detroit Tigers as a catcher in 1955, made his major league debut in 1956. He played 11 seasons, first with the Tigers, and then went on to Milwaukee just before they moved to Atlanta. And on those Braves teams, he played with a couple guys you might recognize, Hank Aaron and Eddie Matthews, both of whom would eventually become members of the Baseball Hall of Fame. When Charlie's career as a baseball player was done, he decided to stay in baseball. He spent a year in the minor leagues as a manager before going into coaching in the major league level. He started the art of hitting, and that's the art of hitting a round ball with a round bat. And he became a preeminent hitting coach in the major leagues. He toured with such stars as George Brent, Al McRae, Carlton Fisk, Ricky Rollhouse, and many others. He wrote books, made videos of his hitting instruction. His coaching career lasted a little over 14 years with stints in Baltimore, Oakland, Kansas City, New York Yankees, and his last team, the Chicago White Sox. He unfortunately passed away in 1984 at the age of 50. A committee was put together in 1985. The purpose was to dedicate the naming of the high school baseball field in Charlie's memory. Guess who they picked as chairman? But anyway. We picked a day when the Chicago White Sox were in town because that was Charlie's last team. They accepted our invitation to participate. We received letters from every Major League Baseball team and from a Washington, D.C. government employee named Ronald Reagan. It was truly a Hall of Fame day. I can't see the screen. I think Roger's got some pictures up there and things. We wanted to do something to commemorate the day, so we came up with the idea of a commemorative coin and a plaque to be placed at the baseball field. Former Detroit Red Wing captain Alex Davidson, who had retired from hockey and had his own business supplying trophies and awards. And of course, I knew him through the time I was with the Red Wings. So we went to him and he minted a commemorative coin and a plaque which is still on display at Romulus High School. Alex, of course, is a member of the National Hockey League Hall of Fame. I contacted Tigers to see if they would send somebody to represent the club. I never heard back from anyone, so I called another Hall of Famer, a friend of mine, Ernie Harwell, to see if he would come out. He said he would. I asked if he'd help me MC. He said he would. Ernie was also good friends with Charlie and his dad, Charlie Lau Sr. The White Sox showed up, led by his manager, Tony La Russa. Tony would spend 33 years in the bigs as a manager before retiring in 2022. He is in the Baseball Hall of Fame. Others attending from Chicago were former retired Eddie Brinkman and White Sox general manager Roland King. My appointment with the city of Romulus ended at the end of 1985, but I still stayed involved with the city. I joined Romulus Rotary, was involved in the building of the Veterans Monument. Romulus the Rotary's motto, by the way, is service above self. Donnie Morris and I had the privilege of serving on Congressman William Ford's Military Academy Selection Committee. We interviewed several young people who had wanted to attend West Point, Annapolis, or the Air Force Academy. It was an endeavor we both took seriously, and it was a great honor to do that. The Chamber asked me to MC many events, including the wine tasting, comedy night, and this event, the Person of the Year. Somewhere along the line, somebody come up with the name Mr. Microphone, and I think Jazz already mentioned this, so I'm not going to embarrass her by saying it was all her fault. Calling me Mr. Microphone, and her child calls me Uncle Microphone. I was honored to chair many golf outings, including 25 with the Detroit Sports Broadcasters. We also did outings for Romulus Rotary, Belleville Rotary, Chamber of Commerce, Romulus Community Schools, and I wouldn't have done it without the help of my three amigos, Kathy Best, Mary Ann Wells, and Greg Evans. And when we did a golf outing, nobody interfered. We had it down pat, and it was great. I was fortunate to work for three mayors, Bill Oakley, Beverly McAnally, and Edward Burcroft. I did work for Mayor Bob McCrae, but I did work for Bob during the Burcroft administration, and I was honored to be part of his Veterans Monument Reconstruction Committee. Before I go any further, I would like to introduce my niece. Come on up. Pat Bullock. Because she's going to introduce the family.
You know, you told me this was going to be an hour, so I wore a jacket for an hour.
Just do it, okay?
All right.
Yeah.
So our family is really relatively small, and I never use a microphone.
Well, this is a microphone.
I learned more tonight than I've ever learned before. What I know of Dennis is, I call him Dennis. My brother, who's 6 years younger than him, calls him Uncle Dennis. We have Uncle Deese to my grandchildren. I'm not sure what you guys call him, but there you go, Dennis. So, want me to introduce people?
Yeah.
Alrighty. My daughter Elaine, her significant other Bill, my son Terry, his son Evan, Lexi's my granddaughter. This is my granddaughter Skylar, my son Garrett, my daughter Jody, and this is our family. My brother Michael is in the hospital, or he here. But he also has, we also have our family, Melinda Ostrander and Miss Cindy here. We have Doug Miller and my niece Stephanie is here. So that's our family.
Thank you. In 1980, my parents celebrated their 50th anniversary, and I was able to videotape the event, so here are some pictures of the rest of my family. Once again, I can't see the screen, so I hope Roger and I are in coordination with this. First of all, my mom and dad.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
My beautiful sister, Diana. my dad's brother, Uncle Rich and Aunt Mary, their daughter Janet Davidson, my Aunt Doris. She was married to my mother's brother, Wayne, and she was the matriarch of the Thundering Horde, which I'm about to introduce. This is cousin Chris Savar and her son Duke, who both reside in Colorado, and her daughter Megan, who resides in Ohio. This is cousin Kathy, who lives in North Carolina, and I have another cousin, Laura, and her husband, Tony, who live in Ohio. That picture is a cousin, Sheila, and who currently resides in a beautiful place called Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, with her husband, Bob. My dad was a nightclub musician back in the 1930s and 40s, and in those days, the musicians would perform musical acts in between sets. He was given the name King because he was known as the king of the bass fiddle. In fact, I didn't even know his real name was Harry until I was about 6 or 7 years old. He ended up going into the ministry late in life. His signature song is called Ding Dong Daddy from Dumas, and we're going to play it for you now. This might have been the very first rap song. Now, I know we have a little problem getting sound over there, but kind of listen closely and you'll hear King Davidson and Ding Dong Daddy from Dumas.
Do you want it? Yeah. I'll pay the bones. All right. Usually have a hat and a bass fiddle, but I can't be on that. Now I guess you folks don't know me at all. I just moved in today and live down here in a little town where it ain't so far away. And the folks down there for miles around, they all call me by my name. And now I decided to settle in this here town, and all you critters do the same. 'Cause I'm a ding-dong daddy from Dumas. Y'all see me do my stuff. I'm a clean-cut fella from Horner's Corner. Y'all see me strut. Now I'm Cape Cod Kitty, got a gal called Katie, but a little heavy baby, but I call her baby. I'm a ding-dong daddy from Dumas. Y'all see me do my stuff. The old folks the other day happened to think of an old friend of mine named Burnside. Lives over on the east side. And I went over on the east side to see Burnside, and they said he'd moved to the south side. I went over to the south side where he did reside, and the streets are very wide. I went up one side and down the other side. Saw his house from the outside. I went up the steps on the outside and rang the bell on the inside. Mrs. Burnside come outside, and I said, I'd like to see Mr. Burnside. Well, she sighed and she cried, said Burnside had died and committed suicide. Of course, it was horrified, so I went across the street on the other side, and the saloon that got ossified. And an officer outside said I was pied, and I said he lied, so he called away and took me for a ride, and I didn't get to see Mr. Burnside. Y'all see me do my stuff. I'm a clean-cut fella from Horner's Corners. Y'all see me strut. Now I'm a Cape Cod Kitty, got a gal called Katie. She's a little heavy baby, but call her baby. I'm a ding-dong daddy from Dumas. Y'all see me do my stuff. Said I'm a ding-dong daddy from Dumas. You ought to see me do my stuff. You should be watching.
Well, as you can see, the microphone doesn't fall far from the stand. On a personal note, I'd like to thank Mary Ann for getting me to all my VA and dental appointments. And when she couldn't make it, Randy Moffett and Mark Lucas stepped in. And also to do Bergeron, along with Randy, made sure I got to lunch on Fridays. I thank the Chamber for this honor. I'm quite overwhelmed. I made it through without breaking down. I don't know how. And thank you to Mark and Jonah for all your hard work. I really appreciate it. In conclusion, it is written that no man is an island, no man stands alone. It takes a village, and a Rotary says service above self. That's what this evening is all about, community service. Back in my broadcasting days, I like to end my show by saying, if you drink, don't drive, you're liable to hit a bump and spill the whole thing. And that, my friend, was alcohol abuse. Thank you so much. You can maybe see it now. You're not leaving now. I forgot to mention, earlier, I think somebody mentioned Memphis, Michigan, Jennifer Lard, and also we have another alumni. God, how is a little small town in the thumb has 3 people in the room in Romulus, Michigan at the same time. Yeah, well, Calvin Gross, who is also a graduate of Memphis High School, Donnie Morris's son-in-law is back there. So, well, afterwards, we're going to get together and do the Memphis High School fight song. It's Memphis High School